All right. So, first video of the channel. It's going to be great. We're going to review Delta Force and why I think it's a good game, despite its shortcomings. And what do you expect? The competition's so low right now that I consider it even great. First things first, I want to get it out of the way. The comparison with Battlefield 2042, this game is just flat out better, despite the Battlefield skeleton that got applied onto 2042. Now, I haven't played 2042 in a long time, so it could be a lot better. I've seen a couple clips here and there, and it seems to be semi-interesting, but in general, it was so much cringe on its release and so poorly optimized that I can't say with good conscience that it was good. And I don't really feel like I should waste my time going back to a game that already kind of burned itself in general. Which goes to the initial problem with 2042, and I guess it's like a semi-problem for Delta Force, which is kind of like the heroes epidemic, where they try to make these like characters in this like gritty environment, but really they're just Overwatch heroes that make terrible cringe comments. I will say that these heroes per se in Delta Force, I don't know any of their names. In the beginning, I didn't really like them. They've kind of grown on me, mainly because they just don't say stupid stuff when the match ends. And in general, they tend not to clash with the world they're in, where I think 2042 had a narrative where like the world was ending and there was a bunch of mercenaries and everyone's out to get what they want. So it felt really bad when you compared it to literally the one-liners, the Marvel one-liners that the heroes made. And Delta Force just doesn't have that. Now, the campaign's not out, so I don't know if that campaign's gonna change much, but I will say that these hero archetypes that they've kind of put in the game they're more like Rainbow Six Siege characters versus in Battlefield 2042, they were definitely Overwatch characters or Marvel characters. That's the best way to describe it. Like there's just this like level of cringe that Battlefield hit that these characters just don't even come close to. Another shortcoming that this game has to handle, and I guess all players are just gonna initially notice right away, is the UI is garbage. It is a gacha nightmare. There are so many weeklies, there's so many dailies, there's challenges everywhere. It's like a flashbang when you start up the game, genuinely. Now, you do get used to it, but no matter what, it still looks horrendous and ugly, and it's never going to go away. There's always a new event every week, so I guess it does feel a bit active. But in general, it definitely has that like Asian sensibility when we're talking about designing the UI and the constant player reinforcement to come back and accept your dailies and do your daily quests, which I don't think Battlefield had. It's been a long time, but I don't even care about Battlefield 2042. We all know Battlefield 4 is the best. I still play it here and there. And in general, I don't think the UI is so bad that it ruins the game for me. In the end, I still get in, still get my matches in, and it's fun. And I think that's all that really matters. I like, yeah, do I want the UI to be better? Do I want stuff to be better? Of course, but it's not going to change. And the fact is, Battlefield is never going to be what it was. I don't care of waiting. And at the very least, this game really scratches that itch, especially with its player base. Unlike Battlefield 4, where you have to go into servers, and a lot of those servers are horribly ran with either cheaters galore or veterans who literally abuse the most overpowered strategies in the game. At the very least, right now, Delta Force feels like a breath of fresh air. Now, sticking to the UI, the store is extortionary at like best. The skins cost, I don't know, like $100 each. The special skins, I mean, for the characters. And you could definitely buy your own skins that are cheaper, but they kind of have these like special events where there's tickets, you know, the gacha system. I can't really describe it. It's not even a gacha system. I'm just describing it to like give you the type of feel the game has, right? With its like ticket system and like opening chests. But in general, these like bigger skins, I see a lot of complaining. I genuinely don't care. And if you're a grown adult who is on the discussion boards complaining about this, I feel bad for you because your life is small. And I guess my life is so normal because I'm happy that I was able to unlock all the characters. And in the end of the day, I don't really have any complaints other than that. As long as I'm able to play the characters, I unlock a lot of cool skins, a lot of cool weapons. In general, the progression system's great. So despite the horrendous store, I genuinely don't feel bad for you because, again, I just don't care. the game's good, and that's all that matters. Everything else is supplementary. And in the end of the day, people who want to buy it can buy it. I get killed occasionally by someone who has a $100 skin, and I'm like, oh, cool. And then I move on because this game's not my life. Okay, now that's out of the way. I wanted to talk a bit about the gameplay. Okay, reviving is a shit show. The hero stuff is ungodly. If you're a healer, you will be reviving people 24/7. There is no limit to how many people can be revived. There's no limit to how many times they can be revived. There should be a limit because the system they have now has absolutely broken some corridor maps. Like, I used to think Operation was probably one of the most horrible maps I've ever played. Once the ceiling goes down, it's completely horrendous. There's only one way to really approach, actually 2 corridors to approach the objective, and it's just a clusterfuck. Now, think about Operation now and multiply it by 5, and then that's the Shaft map, which is, it's not even called Shaft, it's like Shafted, which is hilarious because that is exactly what this is. You can see it in the gameplay right now. It is so hectic. There's so much going on. And I think the biggest issue with the map is in one half of the map, it feels like Operation Metro. And then the other half, there's like so many ways to attack the site. It is completely imbalanced when you're playing King of the Hill, for example, versus Attack and Defend, which I think is a little bit better, but it still comes with the problems. Once you get to that part, it's only the corridors that the issue is. But in King of the Hill, it is completely imbalanced. You could tell right away which team has the larger advantage. And I think one side I always win. And anytime I see Shafted come up and I'm on blue side, I think it's already going to be a loss, no matter what, because it's just the side that has the dominant corridors, you are going to win on simply kills and capturing. It is just so much easier. And the side that doesn't have that, you're going to lose because everyone can get to your positions easily. There's multiple ways to get to what you're defending, and it doesn't matter. And I think they definitely need to change that, make both sides just as easy to navigate and attack, and the map will be so much better. Other than that, I think all the other maps are really good. There are some hiccup cases with some of the vehicles being overpowered, but I feel like that's a player-based problem. And in terms of comparing it to Battlefield 4, not even close. So the vehicles here are pretty balanced. I feel a lot safer when I'm playing as an engineer, rocketing people, and it doesn't feel as bad as Battlefield 4 because you're just not an ant. I think it takes like 2 hits to get most vehicles just done, maybe 3, but by the time you get the second hit in, guys are like leaving the vehicle. That's how easy it is. And the good thing is, as long as your team's not completely mental, you won't lose the vehicle battle. Now, in some cases, I've played some ranked matches where we have been annihilated. There's these guys who think that they are driving savants who will be instantly killed. And it's not always their fault, to be fair. Sometimes the other team just has a couple squads, especially when you go into the higher ranks, that just know what they're doing and they will instantly bomb you. And that's ranked, right? That's how it goes. But it's also in normal matches. So really just one good squad of engineers could flip the tables compared to, I think, Battlefield, where there really isn't an option. You're just fucked. If they have vehicles, you're done for. God hope that your team has a good tank user, because if you don't, you're done. One tank could prematurely end the game in the first 10 minutes. And I'm happy to report that in Delta Force, that is not the case. So in a lot of ways, that is a huge improvement. Gunplay's good. There is absolutely no bullet drop, which feels terrible. I don't care. I know it's supposed to be COD-like, and it's easier for players to, get into the game. But in general, I think Battlefield 4 had the best bullet drop, felt the most realistic. I am way too good at sniping in this game. It feels like BF1 a little harder than BF1, but still up there, especially because BF1 is horrible. And anyone who says otherwise, you're a cuck who likes playing against 30v30 sniper teams with random Joe Schmoes running at each other throwing smokes. But to summarize, sniping is way too easy. Most shooting's too easy. Hitting running enemies is kind of too easy. There's a lot of issues with the gunplay. Now, I don't know what that would do with the hit registration if you add the bullet drop. I genuinely don't know. But in general, I don't think it feels as good as Battlefield 4 to hit those long tap shots. In general, it's probably for the best that you always full auto and just blast anyone who goes near you. Even if it's fully far, it is totally fine. Now, to be fair too, healing is pretty overpowered in this game. The time to kill is a lot longer, probably 2/3 longer than Battlefield 4. Probably the same for most Battlefields, I think. In general, this game has a good balance of getting absolutely destroyed and giving you enough time to heal. So in some ways, it's really good. Headshots still annihilate in this game, as they should. But in general, I've also seen a lot of complaints about the shooting and how the time to kill is too short. So yeah, that guy played Call of Duty, 100%. Because if the time to kill is too short in this game, I don't know what you want, man. This is like a Battlefield-like. I think the time of kill is totally fine. I think anything more, you're pushing it. But what do I know? Maybe try it out. Nerf the revives, increase the health, and it might feel better. Right now, the revive system has like destroyed any balance there is. And a good squad of medics absolutely ruin corridor maps just as much as a good squad of engineers absolutely ruin vehicle maps. So I don't know. We'll see. What's left? Operations. Yeah, I don't know what this game mode is. I played a couple rounds, killed a couple NPCs. I know it's an extraction shooter. I killed like 2 teams of players and I never met anyone else. So I don't know if the player count's so low that that's all they could find. I think they run some events through this game mode. So they usually have like, I don't know, attack defend events that kind of feel like Rainbow Six Siege in a way, which is cool. It's like Rainbow Six Siege mixed with Counter-Strike, but in general, I'll probably try to find a squad on the Discord to explore this a little more. And if I like it, I'll make another video. But right now, there's not much to say. I think there's a lot of room for improvement, especially the new player experience. My inventory is full due to the events and the terrible UI I told you about. So like I just got a bunch of stuff that I have no idea what to use for. A bunch of crates, a bunch of packages, and they all say like, oh, use in operations. They don't really tell you what to use, but if you've played extraction shooters, you know, it left a bad taste in my mouth getting rewards that I don't want. And it kind of like wasted my time clicking them all. So it's hard to describe. But operations is still pretty half-baked. I don't know how long it's going to last. I kind of joined, I don't know, this is like season 3. So I guess I joined pretty late. The fact that I could still find matches says something. But I don't know if like the player base gravitated toward the game mode. Only time will tell. I think those are my thoughts. To summarize, it's no Battlefield 4. It does some things better, does some things worse. It's kind of like Battlefield, but more COD-like. It does what Battlefield 2042 tried to do in every way, but it's flat out better. The majority of the maps are really fun. The community seems pretty chill. And I'm just glad we have another Battlefield-like because I really miss this genre. I miss being able to just jump in a match and it being populated. I'm tired of playing on Battlefield 4 servers. It is revolting and honestly just tiring. So in a way, God bless these developers and hopefully the next Battlefield's good. If it's not, whatever, I'll just stick to this game. But with that said, I hope you enjoyed and I hope you have a great day.